The best one would be from the Blad cast, who says we are less than 3 minutes away from brilliance, folks. So obviously you know what's about ready to happen.
Oh, yeah, he likes the dirt instead.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Quick. Can't quite get that launch angle down yet. Working it.
Nope, he ain't going anywhere.
No. Worked all night to get these seats.
And he's going to perch in left field. Nope. There he goes. He gone.
He's in cruise control now.
Oh, ran into the scoreboard. Down goes the goose. Oh, the poor thing.
You're listening.
Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATP with Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time. Open your mouth. Close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise. And here it is.
Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters? As I over-enunciate and spittle goes flying all over my screen. Zane, this is disgusting. I know a pro like you would never have that happen. Eric Zane puts the pro and professional here at Who Are These Broadcasters? How are you today, EZ?
Never better, my friend. And I disagree. I have to clean off my stuff several times a week from the accumulating spittle. So I think you're fine. I think you're fine.
All right. Perfect. As long as that's the only fluid that ends up on your screen.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
We've got a big show, huge show today. And before we dive in, Eric, I want you to remind everyone out there in the chat how super chats work on this program.
Okay. So you can throw as much money as you want at us because you're compelled to do so because of the hilarity and the jokes and the unbelievable content that we do create every single time we do the show. However, if you want Christian to say something terrible about various minorities, for example, or whatever it may be, just leave it with a dollar amount attached to it. The one with the highest dollar amount is then part of Christian's sign-off to end this program. That's it.
That's great. We're 1 minute in and we've both said program twice. Obviously, this is going to be a great show. And, if you make us laugh, we will put up your free chats. Yes. But you got to be really funny. You basically have to be JFK head chunk.
You might want to make fun of Carl and his silly attempts to talk politics on Who Are These Podcasts. I know some people are making fun of him about that, and you should. So maybe that's what's on your mind. I don't know.
Yeah, I think more people are making fun of him for putting his toe in the Rippaverse, the Eric July and all that. But you're right. There's never any. I was watching Who Are These Socials, which they did yesterday due to Mike's scheduling. And there were definitely people in the chat that wanted to let Carl know how they felt. But they'd spend $10 to do it. People who hate us only spend $2. Really, Dirty Deeds? You only got $2 to tell me I'm an asshole? All right. I see how it is. All right. All that notwithstanding, let's head over to local news.
Others imitate it. We appreciate it.
So our audio audience is not yet aware, but our video audience knows that we're about to give a follow-up on one of our favorite mascots here for Who Are These Broadcasters. How would you describe the gentleman in the photo here and remind our audio audience who we're about to catch up with?
Stupid. Just a stupid idiot. I mean, that's a face anybody who's stupid would make that face. That is, yes. I'm a stupid person face.
And look, I think we're all a little stupid in our own ways, but very few of us are so stupid that our virtual court hearing on why we're driving with a suspended license is not the time to be on your phone while driving. I think most of us understand we can connect point A to point B. There are maybe some people that stream shows on their channel that aren't as smart as that, but most of us know that. So huge shout out to JT in the Discord, because this is actually our second follow-up with this guy. The last time we had him on, he was saying like, oh yeah, actually, my license was reinstated, but the local government sucks so much that they did not do it.
Yeah,
well, the judge,
everybody bought it. I'm so everybody bought it because they're like, oh boy, he might be onto something. I heard person after person say, we owe him an apology.
Yeah, not us. We never apologize here on Who Are These Broadcasters. And I think that you might want to do a retraction for the retraction. Again, thanks to JT in the Discord who let us know that the judge who. By the way, I would love for this judge to get a judge show. I know there are not as many judge shows as there were maybe like 20 years ago, but I'm tuning in for this guy. I love this judge.
Yes.
So he wants to let the defendant know that the local government isn't really who's at fault here.
Needed to be blamed is the person that he was staring at in the mirror. He didn't do what he should have done.
The judge came ready to set the record straight with Corey Harris, who has claimed that he thought the suspension on his driver's license was removed 2 years ago.
That court and its friend of the court did nothing wrong. His driving privileges were unsuspended in 2022. That required Mr. Harris to do something. He didn't do it.
The judge said Harris never paid his clearance fees with the court or the Secretary of State.
So, Eric, are you surprised that this Mr. Harris is a bit of a do nothing and maybe not a self starter, not particularly motivated?
You know, it's remarkable. This piece of shit is is as old as I am.
Yeah,
maybe older. I don't think so, but and we might have the clip of the judge. I've been following this story from the beginning. Are you?
So,
is there more for him to play?
There's more to this
good.
clip, but it's actually the I believe this is ABC Channel 7 in the Detroit area. So this is a reporter speaking to him, to Mr. Harris, which I found to be the most interesting part of the clip, and then we'll sort of punctuate it after we see what Mr. Harris has to say for himself.
To lift the suspension, but that's not all.
He has never had a Michigan license. Ever.
We asked Harris yesterday if he ever had a valid driver's license. He claimed he didn't remember. Do you ever recall having one? Having a driver's license?
I knew I had a permit. I knew that.
A driver's permit, or?
I believe. I don't know. I can't say yes and I can't say no.
Pause it.
Yeah, that's the end of it. He can't say yes. Yeah. He can't say no. But Eric, to be fair, that reporter really came after him with some gotcha questions. You know, do you have a driver's license? That's not really a fair question, is it?
Unbelievable. It's not right. By the way, with that still shot of him, the question, is he whistling? He really does. His stupid fucking mouth is always in, I'm about to whistle. Look at that fucking idiot. Oh, Jesus Christ. What an asshole. Yeah, he's so bad. He is so dumb. And then
he's so dumb.
Yeah, putting everybody through it. And then he never even had a goddamn license ever.
I'm not gonna lie, that is my favorite part, is that it's like he had his suspended privileges, but he didn't actually have a license to begin with.
I think he's so dumb that when they said, hey, your license is suspended, which technically you can in Michigan have a suspended license even though you don't have one. What they're saying there is, hey, if you ever do get a license, you fat moron, it's going to be suspended. It's kind of like when Ron Artest comes back to the NBA after choking somebody, he's got to finish his suspension. That's what has to happen here. But this stupid fuck said, well, all right, now it just said my suspension's been lifted. I guess I got a license now. You never had one in the first place, you fuck.
Yankees suck. I'm not sure what this means. He didn't do nothing. I don't even know what that means.
I think it's
he needs a show on Compound Media, Dwyer Christian. And Dwyer Christian back-to-back chats here. Easy as in fire. You're in fire. You're on fire. And JFK Head Chunk says he has a fishing license, but he was confused. Oh, Hamilton Burger. This is really important. Meta World Peace, you racist.
Whatever.
His name was no longer. Yeah. What is? Are you going to call him Lou Alcindor, or are you going to call him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Right?
That's true. Oh my God.
Anyway, Matthew Zizzo, if you get a free WATP membership, it's your obligation to watch WATB. At least that's how I feel. I need to shout out Hulkamania, who I did a show on Friday on this channel, and he gave out a bunch of memberships, and I did not shout him out appropriately because I wasn't looking at the chat in the right way. That's my bad. Hulkamania, one of the greatest patrons, one of the greatest supporters of who are these broadcasts, who are these podcasters, who are these socials. So I hope you're there in the chat. We will put up free chats from Hulkamania all day today because we appreciate their service. Sorry, I was getting distracted by the chat. JFK Head Chunk. Do we know what this means? Beetlejuice shouldn't be driving anyway. So,
okay. All right. Yeah. Beetlejuice grew up. Fuck.
All right. Well, Obviously, you're worked up in a lather over this, and that's why we started with it, because I know how you love this story. We all love it. Our pal Japanese fart enthusiast was worked up about a different story in the Discord. He was telling me about something that I had no idea was happening in my own backyard. It was not really my backyard. It's like 20 minutes away in a dingier, homeless infested backyard that has a lot of inclusion to it. It's an area of Los Angeles called Silver Lake. And I'm going to just let the clip play. This is a shout out to the Daily Caller, the website there. They took a few different local news broadcasts and cobbled them together. Daily Caller, which was started by Tucker Carlson about 15 years ago. And great to see them in the clipping business.
An LA neighborhood takes down street signs from the 90s that officials say discriminated against the LGBTQ plus community. The signs that read "No cruising" and prohibited U-turns were installed in Silver Lake. It was an area known to be a hotspot for gay men.
So, Eric, did you know that the no U-turn sign and no cruising are actually hate-filled signs? Did you know that hate is on streets all over this great nation?
I had no idea that was. I mean, I think I need more information here before, but I find it. I think, okay. Can I speculate before we get more information?
Please. I would love your speculation. I like that this is the one that you don't want to fly off the handle on. Okay. You're like, hold on.
So I'm driving down the street. I'm a gay dude and I crave cock. All right.
Pull that for me, Cardiff.
I'm driving down the street and I need one in my butthole and one in my mouth. And I'm looking, and there's tons of dudes that want to put it in me over here, but there's more over here.
Yep.
I whip the car around.
Yeah.
I do the Yui, and I go and I get fresh cock. Okay. Now,
yes,
if that sign's there, that's keeping me from jizz in my asshole. And that is anti-gay.
Correct.
So we must take it down so these guys can get cock. Is that am
especially
I right?
That's 100% right, especially because the other side of the street from where the sign is, that's where the uncut European cock usually is. And I've heard rumors that that's something that you're interested in. Hamilton Berger makes the point. This isn't Christian's backyard. It's his hunting ground. Yes. Thank you, Hamilton Berger. Hamburger for the win. All right. Let's get a little bit more here as we go through.
LA City Council members Hugo Soto Martinez and Nithya Raman were on hand today to help remove the signs. They say the no cruising and no U-turn signs were put up in the 1990s to prevent people in the gay community from meeting up with other gay people.
Yep. Yes. There it is. You easy for the win. You completely were able to ascertain why those signs are homophobic, why they are anti-LGBTQIA+. There's a little bit more to this story. Eric, I am going to let you read the name of the activist who is speaking. I believe this is even a city council member. I want you to listen to the clip, and especially for our audio audience, let everyone know the name of the person who's speaking out on
this. I'm surprised that these these U-turn signs were still up. And at first, they seem a little...
Yeah, go ahead.
The name of this person first name is spelled Maebe.
Yep.
And that's pronounced maybe.
Yep.
Middle initial is A. Last name is girl. So
string it all together like the old electric company on PBS.
Yeah, right. Maybe a girl is weighing in and is excited at this new prospect of fresh cock inside of maybe a girl.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah. Maybe a girl. Check the battery slot. Devil's Joint. Great to see JJ in here, who people know as the mod from that reality show. And Nicola obviously checks in, is not a girl, but maybe a girl. Look, that's the yeah. I appreciate the upfront honesty, letting you know there's no false advertising. This is maybe a girl. let's and Tiger Lily appreciated the electric company shout out, which means Tiger Lily is old like we are. But that's all right. We love Tiger Lily, one of our favorites.
I love gay people. I mean, I even have one. I gave birth to one of the gays. I've got a gay in the house right here who's dating a transgender. I am all about the gays.
So wait a minute. You have for Pride Month, you have a few of the LGBTQ letters represented in your home. Maybe, not living there full time, but over for a Sunday dinner, you might actually check off some of those boxes.
Oh, I am an ally. I've got a free dad hug shirt, Christian. Are you kidding me? Fuck yes.
Wow, you should start a mobile coffee shop in New York State.
I thought you said cock. Did you say cock?
Look, it's on the brain. This is a really sexy story.
It is a sexy story.
Sorry, I wanted to get Reverend Shitstain Powerful Pooper, our friend, angry they can't engage in public sex in cars. I mean, Reverend Shitstain, take away the kind of activity they would be engaging in. Do you want your city telling you that you can't have sex in cars?
Yes.
Yes. I lost my virginity in a car. All right. I wouldn't want it was more of a short bus. But anyway, that's not really the story we're here to talk about. Kenny in the chat. Maybe it's Pat from Saturday Night Live.
Oh my God, shit.
Should we let maybe finish their point, or should we move on, Eric?
Oh, that's up to you.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, it's just a no U-turn sign. But when you learn the history of it and you realize that these were used to profile gay people, it's so important that we have these removed.
By the way, the neighborhoods that people are showing up in, I think that you don't need signs for profiling. Here in LA, it's pretty much all of West Hollywood. Not that there's other places. And don't you skip the $5, you scam artist. Platt. You know what? I didn't see it. That's, you know what? I'm going to blame Eric for that, but I didn't see it. I'm so sorry, Reverend Shitstain. Thank you for keeping us honest. Cruising is when you drive slowly back and forth, looking for other gay dudes driving slowly back and forth to engage in public anon relations.
Yeah.
And, I'll put his $2 up. So Reverend Shitstain, so far, you know what I'm going to do because he's a friend of the show? I'm going to combine his two chats for $7 right now. So if anybody wants to be what I sign off with, I need more than $7. I need $7.01. Flat Cat Jessica, why don't you ever super chat us? Where are you, Flat Cat? Anyway, I appreciate everybody who's in here. All right. So we've learned that that guy didn't have a license and that he's an idiot. We've learned that street signs can be racist. This next story is one that both you and our buddy Trucker Andy sent to me. Some local graffiti. I guess this is in the Detroit area, right, Eric?
Yes, that's exactly where this is.
It should be sort of an easy story to report on, shouldn't it?
Yeah, you catch somebody doing something and they get in trouble, but there's a couple more variables to this story.
All right, well, let's check it out and see what was happening.
Suspected vandal facing charges after allegedly leaving Beavis and Butthead graffiti all over Detroit. My goodness. I was not.
There's Corn Julio, TP for the bunghole, all over there.
Brian Heron calls himself Beavis, spelled B-V-I-S. I'm so sorry. Police say he left his mark on buildings and fences, even inside a supermarket. Heron actually, this is...
What the fuck is he laughing so hard about?
I mean, dedicated areas where they have murals. Maybe you.
Yeah, they eventually just throw to the clip because this guy's losing it.
He's just fell apart.
By the time the clip ends, he's able to calm down a little bit. But look, there's a lot of times where we play these clips, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Especially if somebody trips over a word, they say something they shouldn't. If they're laughing at their co-host, there's a lot of things that could be happening. But I don't get this one, and that's why this is a great clip. It's not actually that funny.
No, it's not. I can't believe that. And then if you noticed in the clip that I sent you, the dude who's laughing, he reposted it.
Yeah,
and he wrote the word butthead got me.
Yeah.
How does the word butthead get anybody? Holy fuck.
Yeah, I think maybe a girl is something that would make more sense to make a reporter laugh that uncontrollably, you know? But Eddie Valentino in the chat, I showed my friend who's part of the LGBTQ community the news about the U-turn signs. His head started hurting and had to smoke something to chill. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit much, but you know, I guess if people are happy to take down street signs, more power to them. You know, but yeah, so I love that that guy shared it, but it's probably because the clip was going viral. So he's like, I kind of want to get in on this, you know?
Yeah, you know, that's the best thing that can happen to it, because nobody knows who the fuck news anchors are anymore. It's like radio DJ. We don't, you know, we're all just like, yeah, whatever. Shut the fuck up.
That's why you have to have your name in the title of your show, like the Insane Asylum.
Yes, it's the only one that matters.
That's right. Well, you know, also faceless, kind of nameless, on-air people in local news. The technology, sometimes they get a little carried away with it. So a local station in Seattle, we're showing off a screen that you can draw on. Some program you can do it. I think they're playing a variation on Win, Lose, or Draw. What could possibly go wrong when you have a screen like that?
Over here, come over here, come over here. So here's some scissors maybe, and let's see if that...
Scissors?
Oh, scissors! Look at that.
Give me one,
All
give
right,
me
go.
one.
Nice.
A cannon! A cannon!
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Oh, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, no. There's no erasing is the thing. Oh, that's amazing. Let's... Join me. Come over here.
So
I need more dick.
You're just keeping me busy with drops for this show, aren't you? Yeah, I mean, look, so basically somebody says cannon and this lady just starts drawing it. So whoever the gentleman is in her life, I think he keeps her very happy that she immediately drew that when somebody said cannon. And I know, like, I know that's not the most sophisticated clip, but what about this show makes you think that we're not good for a decent dick joke now and then?
Well,
you know?
yeah, and that's why I feel blue ball, because she needed to just like, I mean, if she realizes it, she needs to keep a straight face and draw two balls, the mushroom head with spurts coming out of it, the whole thing, and then just draw a straight up dick and just say,
This is a very cock-centric episode so far. You know, the text chain that you and I are on with Carl, he did ask to unsubscribe because there was a little bit too much cock talk. Is there anything you want to announce on the show? Maybe there, you know, it is Pride Month. Maybe there's more of those letters represented in your house than you owned up to a few minutes ago.
I don't know. I mean, I have said many times on my own show, which is Monday through Friday, you can find it everywhere, that I'm 8% gay, and I might have to put that up to like at least 12.
It's at least 12. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And when you're asked what you're interested in, I believe the answer is maybe a girl. All right.
Yeah.
let's pull out of the local news harbor and head over to the main course for this show, the meat, as it were. Although there's been a lot of meat talk, we're going to head over to Who Are These Talk Shows?
I said, can you dig it?
I think so.
WABTV. Now who are these talk shows? Just who are these talk shows?
DeWired Christian chatting. Easy will be full blown by Christmas. You know,
maybe. I don't know.
Just do it on this show. You know, when you announce it, don't do it on the Insane Asylum. Don't do it on the Eric Zane show Monday through Friday. And I guess it's on Twitch sometime. I don't know how it works, but you know, you can find it. Just follow Eric Zane show.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So, you know, I was delighted about, I don't know, it was a month or so ago when our pal Chris Cuomo had a virtual interview with Kevin Spacey because we hadn't seen him for a while. Well, not to be outdone, our other friend who, boy, we play a lot of clips from in the last month or so, Piers Morgan, sat down with Kevin Spacey for an hour and 38 minutes. And I'm not going to play them all, but I'm going to let you know I pulled 15 clips. It was very hard to narrow that down because Fredo and the pedo. Dwyer Christian.
I think we'd have to say Fredo and the pedo.
Yeah, just for the sake of the joke. You get it, Dwyer Christian, and that's probably what he intended. So we're going to start off where we got the title for this episode 46, from this clip. Piers Morgan, basically, this is early on, wants Kevin Spacey to explain what he's referring to when he's apologizing for bad behavior.
You're a bad behavior when you look back at what you were doing.
Pushing the boundaries.
In what way? I mean,
being too handsy.
Right, exactly.
Touching someone sexually.
Groping people.
In a way that I didn't know at the time they didn't want. Yeah.
Some people would say that is criminal. That if you grope people in a sexual way against their wishes, that is a crime.
I agree that the word grope is a very odd word. I personally, I have caressed people. I have been gentle with people. That is the way that I am. You're making a pass at someone. You don't want to be aggressive.
I mean, you don't want to be aggressive unless, it depends on the pass. I think judging from the way Eric's been talking the last 25 minutes, you might want to be a little aggressive when you're making U-turns.
Wow. I think he just pled guilty, didn't he?
Well, he's saying, bad behavior. And I want to make sure to get the phrase in that, the phrase that pays, as they say.
In what way? I mean,
being too handsy.
Yeah, because that's how he sums it up. Is what he's describing. Too handsy. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm too handsy, I go to jail. Okay. You can't you can't touch people. You can't put your hands on people and then not be even if it's a misdemeanor assault. I mean, come on here. This I'm not sure how he was exonerated, or maybe he wasn't exonerated.
There's a civil trial, but he was fairly quickly found not guilty in a criminal trial. He's not been found guilty of anything. I don't even think he has to pay damages. He just has legal fees. We'll get to that in a little bit, but at the moment, he's not guilty of anything, and I think that that's the point that he makes. I was going to skip this clip, but it is Pride Month. And we've already been fairly descriptive. I think that this is our outreach to the community. So this is obviously in England. That's where Piers does his show. Channel 4 over there did what I think you could safely call a hit piece on Kevin Spacey. And they talked to some people who he clearly knows. And they have accounts of interactions with him like this one.
Then, because he was saying something to me, and then I felt something tickle me just right below my zipper, and I was like, what? I look down and I see it's his finger. Yeah, no, his hand touched my penis.
So we'll get to Spacey reacting in a moment. As the interview goes along, he's asking if Channel 4 should be up front if they paid people for these stories, which factors into the way that he kind of analyzes the interactions. What I was thinking for the first time, because I've seen this clip dozens of times, Eric. I love the description that he gives.
Sure.
But this is the time where I realize it's like a cut, and he's like, he touched my penis. So it's almost like, look, if you want your check, you need to actually say the magic words.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit of a jump cut. We'll go back to it to make sure.
Below my zipper, and I was like, what? I look down and I see it's his finger.
Edit?
Yeah, no, his hand touched my penis.
Yep.
Wasn't like us playing around in a locker room, a little joke or a little tap. It was sexual. I was touched. I was inappropriately touched on set at work.
So, Eric, how rock hard do you think Spacey is right now?
That's what JFK.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I had seen that JFK head chunk, I would have let you jump in. My apologies. I have a different window open. I'm not looking at the chat right now.
I want Piers to ask that in that British accent. Is there jizz in your pants?
Or was it possibly just pre-cum? I mean, we're all gents here. We understand.
Was it full-blown white, milky cum filling your pants.
How gooey are you right now,
I
Kevin?
mean, not the clear stick shit. I want full gooey white cum, loads of cum in your pants.
Oh my God, the song that Cardiff and I are going to make from all these clips. Uncle
$2.
Paul's funny smelling rag emporium. I'll let you read that one.
You both know why Spacey got off, and I can't.
A kippa wearer. I think he's
I don't know
saying
what
that
means.
he's a shuli. Is that what he's saying?
I don't know.
Is he
I'm
Jewish?
not-
I honestly didn't know. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
up on my anti-Semitic jokes, so I don't even know.
I know you live in Michigan. You don't need to. You don't know any. You know,
We don't
there's
even
none up
see
there.
Jews here.
Right, exactly. All right, let's see what Kevin thinks of all this.
He just had these real dead eyes looking at me, and I just felt like I was staring into like a soulless monster.
Which is kind of the way he's watching the clip. I forgot I left that part in there. So let's see what Kevin has to say.
Now, he worked on the show for 4 years. What's your response to that? What do you feel about that?
I know who that is.
Yeah, you do.
We had a lot of fun together.
I bet.
When he
Oh,
left the
boy.
show, we were emailing to each other. In fact, in one of our flirty emails, which we had, I asked him to send me, he was talking about working out, he was getting buff, and I said, send me a picture. And he sent me a couple of pictures that were naked and provocative.
We've got them.
Huh.
Okay, so he
so
sends
that
these
guy-
pictures. Yeah.
He sent nude pictures of himself. That's a great
Yes.
point.
Does he seem traumatized?
No.
Again, this might not just be the gayest episode of Who Are These Broadcasters. This might be the gayest hour on this YouTube channel ever. I'm not sure. Let us know in the chat what people think. But yeah, so all right, so that's his point. Is like, okay, these guys were probably paid, and the other one is. The other account they have from this is way more disturbing so this is apparently something that happened during Matthew Zizzo asking for it. This is something that apparently happened during a screening of Saving Private Ryan.
There's some activity happening next to me and kind of glance over and Kevin's just pleasuring himself.
Oh my God.
Some of the most horrific war footage ever recreated. Like, there's no way that this is happening, that this guy is rubbing one out during the invasion of Normandy.
Let's be fair. My grandfather has given the account that everybody was rubbing one out at the invasion of Normandy. You thought it was probably the last time you were going to get to rub one. But I know what this gentleman who is a Marine is saying. So let's see if Kevin remembers the incident the same way.
Okay.
And finally, he reaches over and grabs my hand and tries to get me to help out. I was like, no, this is crazy.
Okay, to help out.
Gigantic Marine who
Yeah,
presumably
he
has
is.
fought in wars.
You've only seen him
But
with
there are
his
some
pants on,
salient
Piers.
points about this. Apparently, you've never seen Saving Private Ryan.
No, I haven't.
But I have seen Shaving Ryan's Privates, a film that was just as popular in that era. Yeah. So Kevin Spacey goes on to point out that this guy continued emailing him. So that would have been 1998, he says. And in 2011, there's an email that starts, "Hey, bro." And that's kind of the gist of the point. So Kevin's saving receipts, as they say.
Wait, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Wait a minute.
Okay.
The guy sent Kevin Spacey an email?
Yeah, so the guy you just saw talking in 2011, he kept in touch with him, and he was looking for work. He was saying, can you?
Okay.
In the email it says,
Great it was to see me.
Yeah,
It was
so it talks about
establishing
how
that
great it
they-
was to
that's-
see
okay.
you. Okay, I just came across a news article. Said you were looking for military veterans for a project he was working on.
Okay.
And look, maybe, just maybe he, as in Kevin Spacey, maybe he did Alanis Morissette this guy. You know, maybe he was Dave Coulier in a theater. He clearly didn't seem to bother him so much. I mean, I don't know. Look, if somebody tries to jerk you off in a theater against your better wishes, Eric, are you still turning to that person for career advice? I am, but I feel like you're not. I feel like you're not.
I really, goddamn. I don't believe Kevin Spacey did that in the theater.
It's really, really difficult to believe. You notice how I didn't say hard to believe?
Right.
Smart.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm
I
smart
think,
like that.
You know, I think he's a fucking idiot, and it remains to be seen how criminal he is. You know, but it does change things when the one guy sends him nudie pics of him. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, exactly. So I'm not, you know, what do we think? You know, we have a recurring segment on this show that I did borrow, you know, full disclosure. I borrowed from a movie called Amazon Women on the Moon. Bullshit or not, I feel like things happened with these guys. I think that that's true.
Yes.
But I don't know that they were, you know, taken advantage of or accosted in any way. I don't want to spend too much time on this because, like I said, I wasn't even going to necessarily show these clips,
Right.
but it really just seems to fit in the theme of this episode, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. Without
This
a
is
doubt.
a
We're
perfect
so gay.
week.
So
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah, you know, somebody was said by Christmas you were going to be bi, but maybe by Juneteenth actually is what's going to happen. Here's a very quick one talking about somebody else in this Channel 4 documentary.
They go back to 48 years ago when I was in high school and I was 17 years old. Guy makes a claim that I grabbed his junk while we were driving in a car. I mean, I did a lot of embarrassing things when
But
I
how
was in high
can you
school.
possibly refute that? I mean, you can say it didn't happen.
I didn't say it didn't happen. I said it's possible that might have happened.
Right.
I did a lot of embarrassing things in high school. We all did.
Yeah, I did a lot of embarrassing things in high school. Although I have to say, Eric, the thing I didn't do is try and jerk off my friend while we were driving, while we were, you know, circle jerking around the neighborhood because there was no ban on U-turn signs. Did you do anything crazy in high school that might compare to that? I'll ask Eric and the chat as well.
No, but I do a show with a guy named Ben.
Okay.
And one day he revealed on my show that he taught his buddy how to jack off.
Oh,
And he
no.
actually grabbed his dick to show him how to do it.
I don't know if it makes it better or worse, but I have an important question here. Was it a special needs person who
No.
maybe needed? Oh,
And it's
I
like-
guess I'm relieved. I don't know.
They're at this like 11, 12 year age when they're trying to figure, when they learn things. And Ben goes, no, hey, I figured this out. This is what you do. And he goes, give me your cock. And he jacked him off.
I mean, we can laugh about it. We're not involved in it. Although, you know, the chat might have a theory that, you know, this is your friend.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Nicola, quote unquote Ben. Yeah, exactly. What is the chat saying in the sense of, do they feel like some of this stuff happened? You know, are they feeling? I don't know. What are they saying about it?
I don't know. It's more like just a lot of insults about me, saying I'm the one jerking guys off in the theater.
Oh,
but no, I don't think anybody.
They do know you apparently.
Yeah. No one's really committing. Okay. I think that, and to me that speaks volumes because they were very, very quick to attack Kevin Spacey. But I think as we've talked more about it and showed, you know, the various bits of evidence that he shows, I don't know if they're convinced anymore.
Yeah. Oh, well, all right. Well, I don't know. I think that, look, clearly Kevin Spacey says that he's no angel and he's trying to learn from it. The interesting thing about this conversation is that Kevin Spacey has his scandal, but he's also wrapped up in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. And Piers, great interviewer that he is, knows to talk to him about it because there's photos of him in the throne room sitting at Buckingham Palace, sitting next to Ghislaine Maxwell. He's like, I don't know her. You know, like, yeah, I met her. There were a lot of people there that day. And he talks about how he doesn't really know Prince Andrew. And this floored me when this happened, where he talks about how he was traveling with President Clinton, who probably heard that this interview happened and is like, the fuck, keep my name out your mouth. God damn it. Like, don't be talking about me. You're the one who's in trouble. I've gotten away with everything that I've done.
Right.
Yes. Let's not bring me into this. And he'll talk about how President Clinton was the one who suggested they go hang out with Prince Andrew.
Then to London. And the president said to me, before we leave tomorrow, you want to come? I'm going to go to Buckingham Palace tomorrow and see Prince Andrew. You want to come? So I said, sure.
I love that he did the impression.
I know. He does the fucking impression.
Keep my impression out your fucking mouth, Kevin. Never again. So, yeah. And so he talks about how they did this work for the Clinton Foundation. They flew to Africa. They did what sounds like, amazing charity work. Some incredible. Yeah, Hamilton Berger said this seems like the best time to do impressions.
I know.
So, yeah. So basically, they're doing what sounds like great work, through for impoverished countries. Shouldn't use big words. Through the Clinton Foundation, Kevin Spacey's there helping out, and Kevin Spacey's talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, so it turned out the plane was owned by Jeffrey Epstein, but I didn't know him. I didn't really know him. I don't even think I ever talked to him. But yet a minute later, he volunteers this information that, again, probably did not sit well with old Slick Willie Bill Clinton.
I never asked for anything was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights.
There were young girls on those flights, yeah. And that's been out. They've talked about it.
Which is why he's talking about it.
Yeah. You know who's not a liability for Bill Clinton anymore? Jeffrey Epstein. You can believe what you want about maybe who saw to that. But you know who's a liability for Bill Clinton right now? You. Talking about it, there were young girls on this plane. Piers didn't even ask you about that. And you're like, yeah, but I was also like, boy, there's a lot of young girls on this plane. That might be a problem. Yeah, Bill Clinton was on the plane.
Yes.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
But that was an age when politicians could literally get away with anything. Now you can't even pay off a porn star anymore.
No, holy shit. Yeah. It's true.
All right. So Piers asks Kevin Spacey about a member of the royal family that he is close to. So he's contending that he doesn't know Prince Andrew, but apparently he's very close with King Charles. So it's like, oh, you just go right to the top. And he's referring to when he was still the prince and he was not the king yet, but he is the king now. So Piers will not let up. I do appreciate relentless reporting. This sort of like you're trying to get away with not telling me something. I do enjoy this kind of interview style. It's a little hostile, but we got a good clip out of it.
When your troubles started, when the scandal blew up, he did reach out to you.
He has in King Charles.
No, I haven't heard from him directly, no.
But
Directly.
through other people?
That may be true.
Come on, Kevin, you'll know whether that's true or not.
Well,
he's now the King of England.
I do, but when you start paying your guests, Piers, then you're gonna get the.
Oh,
but he did
contact.
contact.
So
trying to make a joke.
He's trying to make a joke, but he's again implicating someone that he doesn't need to implicate.
Right.
He could just say like, oh, I haven't talked to Charles. I haven't talked to His Majesty in a long time. If you want to show respect, that's what you would say.
Right.
And that's probably true. But it's like, oh, so he texted you. Piers is not letting this go.
No, he did not contact me directly, no.
But he sent a message to you?
I heard a message, yes. And I'm very, very grateful for that.
A message of support?
Yes.
That must have meant a lot to you.
Yeah, but look, I don't want to drag him into all.
You just did. You just dragged the King of England into your bullshit.
So now he's got a list of people who are former world leaders or world leaders who want to kill him.
Well, and if you're King Charles and you're not already mad at him, wait for this.
Mother really loves what you've done with the old Vic, and it's wonderful.
Mother what?
Mother loves what you've done with the old Vic. It's wonderful.
With the
old
Vic,
Vic.
yeah.
Wonderful.
What the fuck?
he wheels out the Bill Clinton impression. But did you know he had a King Charles impression? Because I didn't.
I don't think
I
I've
just
ever heard
learned it
King
right
Charles
now.
talk. I've never heard that fucker speak. That just sounded like a retard.
So you got the Queen's backing. Your work at the old. That's quite something.
Yeah, it was quite something.
So he's dragging the Queen into it too. Yeah, R.I.P. You know, but it's rest in power, Queen Elizabeth. By the way, she gave me a lot of money, the Queen. So
damn.
he's dragging the entire royal family, you know, through the mud here. And then Piers gets back to sort of where his career's at. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but I love these clips. And, you know, you as in the chat, you stay up all night and pull clips and decide that you don't want to play them. I'm having too much fun. But a joke that he thinks is going to crush Piers just, well, it's kind of like one of my jokes earlier in the show. So take a look.
Things towards Netflix.
Well, I haven't Netflixed and chilled for a while myself, but
you don't watch it anymore.
So,
No, I don't have sex anymore.
0% from Piers. And, you know, look, maybe they don't use the phrase Netflix and chill in the UK. I feel like they probably would at least, you know, he lives in both places. Piers knew that was a joke. And he's like, no, I'm not giving you anything for that.
God, so incredible. This is great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Piers talks about Robin Wright and says she stabbed you in the back, and he gets mad about that. We don't need to actually watch the clip, but he kind of stands up to him. This is the clip that I think if anybody's seen anything from this interview, they've seen this next part where Piers asks him a very important question.
You live now.
What?
What the fuck?
Well, it's funny you asked that question.
Remember, Kevin Spacey, probably one of the finest actors of at least the last 20 years. So he obviously that when he lifts his head, he might as well say, and scene. So let's watch that again.
Well, it's funny you asked that question because this week, where I have been living in Baltimore, is being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction.
Dwyer Christian says he just came. Look, if I had been living in Baltimore for the last 15 years, I would also be crying where, you know, the best entertainment that can be found is comedian Tom Myers. I get it. I would be upset too. But he's going to talk about a little bit about his finances.
Really? So I have to go back to Baltimore and,
it's been foreclosed.
And put all my things in storage.
Yeah. So he's going to go to a public storage locker and put all the tasteful whips and chains and toys and the various items that he has in there. Stuff that you cannot allege that he used on actor Anthony Rapp because a court found that he didn't do anything. So none of that was ever anything that happened at any point. So the important question, the follow-up that Piers asks is, this is probably the most surprising part of it. Although, you know, him, you know, jerking off to Saving Private Ryan, it was a little bit surprising. His bad impressions also surprising, but this is in the top 3.
How much money do you have?
None.
Really?
None.
Well, I mean, you know, you have some sense of legal bills.
Yeah.
I still owe a lot of legal bills that I have not been able to pay.
You're actually in debt?
Yes.
Do you mind me asking how much you owe?
And they say Brits are polite.
It's considerable.
Millions?
Many millions, yes. The house itself is many millions.
What are you going to do?
Kill myself.
Get back on the horse.
Oh, come on.
He's going to get back on the horse. And he is
horse with cock.
So he lets everybody know that he is trying to get back into acting, but there hasn't really been anything. And that's a great exclamation point on a fun interview. But sometimes, you know, a movie has that sort of end credits scene. You know, all the Marvel movies always try to set up the next movie. So he has to go back in on one little bit. Piers has a question for him that should be kind of an easy answer.
Who are you going to vote for in your election in November? Well, you know.
Oh, no.
It's hard to answer that question, please.
So awkward. Jeez.
Yeah. So now you know the clip that I'll be using at the start of our next episode is who are you voting for? Well, you know, it's not easy. So, all right. I know we spent like a half an hour on that, but it's unbelievable. I watched all hour and 38 minutes of it. Sometimes I watch these things where I skip around. It was really entertaining. And Piers feels like he should probably get another chance. Sure. If people are willing to buy a ticket to see that guy in a movie, great. But you know, I don't know.
You know what? I feel the same way. And honestly, I think that there needs to be a spot where someone actually does that, because people who just can't believe this is happening will go see it. I don't know.
Totally.
I think we need to get to a place where idiots like this are actually worth the price of admission. Who I would go see a fucking movie with him in it. A, he's a really good actor. B, it's interesting that this piece of shit is working.
He's done a lot of theater. I would love to go see him perform live because I would hope there would be some heckling. You know, I don't usually encourage that, but I would like to see Kevin Spacey get heckled.
Exactly.
But what he hopes is that everybody's aware of this scandal, but when they think about it, nobody cares.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I love when I have buttons like that. All right. So we are going to stay in the talk show arena, but to do that, we need to head over to who are these? Paul.
A lot of people talking about Christian and Carl's segment, making it great with who are these politics?
I'm always afraid to ask. How are we doing on Super Chats? Did we get all three of them in already?
We got actually a bunch. There was some dude that had a fucking nasty ass joke.
But that's not a Super Chat?
No, it is. It is.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You both know why space. Oh, yeah, we said that one. In the morning, gents. What did the tampon say to the other tampon?
And then
wait. I had it. Yeah, nothing. They're both stuck up cunts. I'm not gonna lie. I love that joke. Hamilton Burger. How dare you attack K-Pax like that? That's a great point. That's a movie where Kevin Spacey played an alien. And in the trailer, he eats a banana where it's still got the peel on, which, judging from some of his antics that we heard about in this episode, that all of a sudden doesn't sound as crazy as it used to. So there was another monumental appearance on a talk show this week, and that was Donald Trump on Logan Paul's podcast, which, Eric, you'll be glad to know it's called Impulsive.
Aha.
Yeah. So Logan Paul's podcast. I only have a few short clips, and whenever we dive into Trump and Biden, and don't worry, we got some of him too. Usually it comes down to I really don't care who people are going to vote for, but as someone who has pulled clips of Joe Biden on the Howard Stern show, and just today pulled clips of Donald Trump on Logan Paul's show, one of them is a much better guest that people would enjoy having on their show. So I think I'll let people draw their conclusions, but one of them might be a little bit more comfortable talking, especially on the cuff, and honestly might be a little bit more honest to a question like this.
Fist fight, Mr. President? Probably not. I've been like little duels, nothing like that. I mean, I'd like to say, yeah, I fought my way through school.
Right.
You know, I fought my way out of the Wharton School of Finance. You know,
What was the question?
Were you ever in a fist fight?
Oh, it was cut off.
You ever been in a fist fight, Mr. President?
So that was his answer, was no. Whereas like Joe Biden's telling stories about how he kicked the ass of everybody in his neighborhood. That was why I had it. And I don't know how I clipped the beginning of the clip when I played it, but obviously it doesn't hit as hard if you don't know that that's what he's talking about. So Logan's co-host is a guy named Mike Majlak. I have no idea who he is, but he has a book out, and look at how former President Trump reacts when he finds out that someone in the room has something to sell.
Can I see the book?
Absolutely.
We're gonna make this sucker a best-selling book.
There's a message. There's a
It's
message
such
for you.
No, it's
as well.
such an important.
It's about
It's actually-
opioid.
it's actually
Where's
already
my
a-
camera?
it's already a
There.
best-selling
Go out
book.
and buy this book. It's great.
That was for you, I believe. I wrote a message to you in
Good.
there. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
didn't
so he's
care.
like, "You got a book? Yeah, whatever. Yeah." He said, "Where's my camera? Buy this book. It's great." That's what you want from a guest, you know? The other thing that you want is if you have an interviewer and it's somebody that's high profile, you know, there are always a lot of rules and regulations. There's like, you know, you don't have as much time with them as you'd like. It's like, you got to be done at this time. But if you're Donald Trump and you're having fun, it might go a little differently.
President, I got the 10-minute warning from the team. Which is now 8-minute.
let's let him go a little longer. It's fine. I like it. Is that okay? Yeah, let him go a little bit longer. Okay. Look at these two guys. And then it'll turn out to be a lousy show, and I'll say you were right, Jason. It'll be good. So go for another 20 minutes. Is that all right?
Go.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Jason.
It seems.
So, oh yeah,
It's
so
a nice flow.
It seems to be a nice flow. Yeah. So Trump feels like it's going well. It's like, yeah, let's give him another 20 minutes. Now, for me, I was talking to Don McLean once, the musician, and he asked his guy if he could get another 15 minutes because he's like, these are really good questions. So, you know, look, American Pie is a big song. I've never had Trump on my show, but it is a good feeling. So, like I'm saying, I can relate to how Logan Paul must feel. He and Mike are pretty excited. And the one clip that's circulating from this interview is sort of this exchange here.
Let's go.
Well, you did reality TV.
I'll be in trouble with my people. Like Biden says, "Oh, I don't have that problem." But well, first of all, he would never. He couldn't do this interview. Have you asked him questions like this?
No, we were talking about that. We were like,
he
we
wouldn't.
would.
Logan doesn't want to miss the invite to Joe Biden if he'd like to come on this podcast.
Yeah, I think he should.
eventually.
You know what chance you have of getting him on? I'd say less than 1%. Okay, if you did that, it'd be. I'd actually watch that.
God.
Biden on, I'd actually watch that. Yeah, so people are like, oh, I can't believe he invited Biden on the show while Trump's sitting there. And like, did Trump seem ruffled by that even in the least? He's like, oh yeah, you should absolutely have him on. You guys are easy to talk to.
Wow.
Let's see how he does with that. Yeah.
I think as long as, like from a professional standpoint, as long as these two have a good time, they don't even have to suck his dick or kiss his ass. There's that game again.
They do.
Right, okay.
But yeah.
They ended up doing that. Okay. Well, I was just going to say, as long as you give the guy a fair shake, I think, I mean, whatever. What the hell? I mean, who wouldn't take that opportunity?
Well, you have Trump on your show all the time, don't you?
Absolutely.
I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah, so people should check out the Eric Zane show. All right. So he rewards them with about 20 extra minutes. And this is about 30 seconds after that.
People that you would say, gee,
That's
okay.
President of the United States.
But
I said, was your
who is
phone
it? That's
silent?
Joe Biden wanting to do an interview.
So his phone rings. Trump's not upset. He's not rattled by it. He's having fun. He's like, I bet that's Biden. He wants to be on, huh? Like, this is everything you want from an interview.
Right. What? So this fucking idiot grabs his fucking phone because it's ringing. He's with Trump. Oh, so many people are going to be paying attention to him. I will find this. Is there any actual normal dialogue, or is it just fucking slap and tickle? Because I'm less concerned with Trump here than Logan Paul and whoever this fucking idiot is. Do these guys even talk?
They do, and I'm glad you set it up that way. Again, it's almost like we have a pre-show meeting. So this is what he wants to do, what Logan Paul wants to do with the extra time he's been rewarded with.
Aliens. I want to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question.
Yeah, it is such an interesting question, Eric. Such an interesting question. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. And he gives a very Trumpian answer, but in the end, what it really comes down to Wire Christian. What an R word. I think we've said that on the show before. What a retard. I think we said it earlier this show. Okay, I read that one. How about you read this one?
Head full of acid writes, I think Logan Paul might actually be a mongoloid.
Am I a believer? No, I can't say I am.
Look at Paul.
But I have met with people that are serious people.
His mouth
that
is open.
say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
Or Trump.
So he's like, no, I don't believe in your bullshit like at all. But he's very respectful of his, not his guest, but of the host's dumb questions. He's like,
if you could go back to that clip, that side angle of Trump, it's very unflattering. On that, because whatever that shit is he puts on his face, you can see a clear line between pink skin and like whatever that is on.
Probably, I can't say I am, but I have met with people that are.
Yeah. So we'll get to that part of it. No, I want to show it. I saw what you saw earlier, and there it is. Yeah, you can see where he, it's like, well, usually he's only filmed straight on, so you don't have to zoom in on the ear and get all of it. You don't have to scrub it in there.
He thinks it makes him look healthy, but it doesn't. It's whatever.
Yeah. Well, we do need to, in the interest of equal time, and I know we're running low on time, but we do have to share the other edge of the sword, as it were, proverbially. It's not even remotely what I wanted to say, but I opened my mouth and that's what came out. So we spend a lot of time talking about the current president, Joe Biden. And this was an event in Hollywood, and our audio-only audience, there's nothing to hear. There's a song playing really loud. So Biden's there with Jimmy Kimmel and Obama, and you see Obama escorting Joe off the stage because I don't think he realized that it was time to walk away and leave. And, it's obviously he's the leader of the free world being escorted by a former president, but I think that the music that I muted was actually the theme from Old Yeller, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not really sure. So it's very sad. And we talk a lot about that on the show, don't we, Eric? Maybe more than some people want us to, but
it's set up of all the times that Trump, if in the history of like elections, he doesn't even have to campaign, frankly.
Right.
He doesn't have to do anything and he'll win. Because of this idiot. Well, I shouldn't even call him an idiot. He's sick. He's not well. Yeah. This is a man who is going through this his complete decline for the whole world to see. In my opinion, this is elder abuse.
Yeah, everyone who's in that administration for not calling the appropriate authorities, that'll just tell you how they feel about the idea of like 10 months of Kamala Harris running the company. It's a company. Yes. All right, so over at Sky News in Australia, they did compile a few clips from the last few days. So this one is the Italian prime minister had to kind of pull him away when he wandered off. And this is a skydiver.
The bizarre spectacle of the U.S. president wandering off after a skydiving display and having to be wrangled back into line by his counterparts, other world leaders, was bizarre enough. And this led to amazed commentary from around the world, as well as this fantastic New York Post front page, Meander in Chief.
That is one of the things I miss about living in New York is just walking down the street and seeing New York Post headlines because, it's an art form, in all honesty. The Meander in Chief. And we'll finish up with a little bit more from, he's not even Sleepy Joe anymore. He's just kind of meandering Joe, as they're saying.
That's him, folks. And then there was this uncomfortable moment when the president went in for an intimate forehead-to-forehead moment with the Holy Father, Pope Francis.
Yeah. The Babylon Bee had a headline from this interaction with Pope Francis was Biden leans in to eat a giant ice cream cone only to be disappointed that it's the Pope. It's worded better than that, but that's basically the gist of that. Well, that's the best and brightest that the Democrats have to be running the country. And I've said it on the show before. I'll say it again. These are the only two guys who could lose to each other. Halfway decent candidates on either side would trounce the other one of these. And it's the imperfect storm. And it makes for great content for this show. But you know, in a different reality, there are people that thought that somebody else should have been president in 2016. And we have a very quick step into the waters of who are these award shows. As gay as this show has been, Eric, I had no idea that the Tonys were over the weekend. So I guess I have to re-up my membership dues in the community. So it's sort of the triumph and the agony of being Hillary Clinton. She comes out at the Tonys to this. I don't know what she's wearing.
Jesus
Christ. I think that she's a member of that band that used to back up Paul Simon. I think their name is Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Yeah.
I thought she was the fucking voodoo queen in the New Orleans Saints voodoo army.
Well, everybody's so happy to see her. Look at these fellas. No cruising there at the Tonys. And then she's standing up.
What a great evening.
And we have to end on this lady that they cut to in the crowd, who is in tears, literally in tears.
Yes.
Because she knows that she's going to hear Hillary Clinton speak. And, you know, there are plenty of people who've been in a room with Hillary and have ended up dead. That's all I know. I'm not saying that anything necessarily happens. So even that room, head full of acid. Great to see Head Full of Acid. It's a bedazzled moo-moo. So she gets the standing ovation, but even the Tonys only has so much room for Hillary Clinton's bullshit.
Suffragists who fought so valiantly for so long to give women in our country the right to vote. It's almost impossible to think about what a challenge that was. But now it's an election year, and we need to be reminded about how important it is to vote. So please welcome the company of Suffs.
What?
Yeah, it's hard enough to get people to watch this fucking show without you prattling on about the suffragist movement, Hillary.
My God.
We're going to do a quick drive-by of sports because there's a couple of things that I wanted to touch on, and then we'll send everybody home in just a few minutes. Hamilton Burger, that conductor is dead. You're probably not wrong, Hamburger. Let's head over to Who Are These Sportscasters?
Home of the hourly triple play.
W-A-T-B. Who are these sportscasters? Just listen and find out. Who are these sportscasters?
So something that I am well aware of because not only am I clearly I dip my toe in bywaters, but I obviously want to suffer more. And people know I'm a fan of the New York Mets. Something that we're aware of over the last week. Yeah, they've won 9 of their last 10 games in a year that they've been terrible. But what you won't know, Eric, is the unlikely creature that we all have to thank for this happening.
Major disappointment to maybe the hottest team in baseball, and all it took was Grimace. Flash you back to Wednesday. Grimace throws out the first pitch at Citi Field, and it's a pretty good one. I mean, considering how out of shape he looks, but not a bad pitch. And continuing the tradition.
Yeah, so we've shown bad first pitches on here, but to be Grimace and be able to even make it anywhere near the plate. So yeah, Grimace throws out the first pitch like 6 days ago, and the Mets haven't lost since. So I hope that they, the next time they're home, they've got the Burger King throwing out a pitch. Anything really. Have you ever seen anything like that? Grimace throwing out a pitch, Eric?
No, and I'm kind of impressed with it. To be able to pull that off is, and so that's just the thing that a stupid athlete would have a dumb superstition about, or you.
No, it's because of Grimace. You don't understand.
Yeah.
It was just Grimace's birthday. They had a Grimace shake last year. All right, that's enough. That's enough Grimace talk. only autists follow the Mets. But yeah, Yankees suck. So that was the name of the person who put that up there. All right. Well, a baseball clip that I think we can all relate to is a guy who actually was on the Mets for the last couple of years, but he's on the White Sox now. And he had an altercation that he did not appreciate. And I love these post-game interviews where the players are just being completely honest.
Play at the plate, and actually it wasn't even fucking close. It was a shallow fly ball to left field. You would expect the left fielder to throw the base runner out on that play, but the situation of the game, third base coach sends you got to go. I'm nailed out at home by a mile. I'm going to the dugout, and I hear the tough guy with all the hoorah shit. So I'll never start anything, but I'll be prepared to finish it. There's a reason why I do all kinds of fighting in the off season, because I'm prepared to fuck somebody up. So, take it as what it is.
Tommy Pham putting everybody on notice. He's ready to fuck somebody up.
Fuck somebody up. God damn. I think he could too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The reason why I fight in the off season, I got to be prepared to fuck somebody up.
I just got a text from Kevin Spacey. He wants me to send him that clip. I'm not even sure what that means or why that would be. Well, as always on this show, we always like to go out with a Hall of Fame clip, something that everybody can just take a look at. It's from years ago a lot of times, and this one is somebody sent that to me. So before we give all the plugs and some programming notes, let's take a look at this great moment in broadcast history from a local news reporter talking about a plane crash, an Asian airliner that crashed.
New information now also on the plane crash. KTVU has just learned the names of the 4 pilots who were on board the flight. They are Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Ao. The NTSB has confirmed these are the names of the pilots on board Flight 214 when it crashed. We are working to determine exactly what roles each of them played during.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what holy fuck did on that flight. So how do you think this happens? I didn't want to look and figure it out. Do you think that? Okay, go ahead.
I know exactly what happened because I was following this story from the beginning. This is 2 days removed from the Asiatic flight, San Francisco TV station that did it. It was a person called in saying that they represent the FAA or whatever.
Right.
The TV station did their work and called back to the FAA and said, "Hey, we have the names. We want to confirm."
Now, also on the plane.
All right, I meant to just show it again. Yeah.
And there was, as someone picked up and said, "Yes, that's right. This is according to the FAA." And then the FAA said it was an intern that did it, and that he's been fired. Now, who knows if any of that is fucking true? Okay.
Yeah.
That is the story that has been perpetuated, that this was just dropping the ball. And I'm so happy. Never before has been the death of people on an airplane tragedy been so fantastic.
I mean, I don't know, the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly. We were talking about American Pie earlier. You could probably get a tight 5 minutes on talking about, what did it sound like when the Big Bopper realized they were going to crash into the mountain. Hello, baby. See, I just came up with that. And that's why I'm not a comedian. But I'm sorry, Eric. Well, I'll if you need to get out, I'll do some business. Let everybody know some programming notes. But before we finish, Eric, where can people find you?
Oh, who cares? No, the Eric Zane Show podcast is a daily podcast. You can find it wherever you download shows. Just look up the Eric Zane Show podcast, and there you go.
So for our live YouTube audience, we have a programming note for all of you. If you don't want to have to wait a whole week for us, you don't have to. In 24 hours and 45 minutes, We will be right back here on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel, live with next week's show. Eric and I are very busy traveling the world with Kevin Spacey, helping the Clinton Foundation. May or may not be young girls or young boys on the plane. We're very busy. That's the point, right, Easy?
Right. We have to get our work done ahead of time so that, if you want to, you have to prepare if you want to take time off on this, because Carl's a slave driver. He's like, this is not an option. Do the goddamn show.
That's right. But we made like $20 today. So we appreciate that. So Carl can't take that from, he could, but he won't. And that's the key right there. So yes, we'll be doing next week's Who Are These Broadcasters on the 19th of June at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Now, for the audio audience, you're just going to hear it on Tuesday or Wednesday like usual, but it gives me an excuse to point out that there is an audio version for this show. You can subscribe to it wherever you get podcasts, but the only drawback is that you don't get to see Easy's hair when you do the audio version. The clips, it doesn't matter, but you don't get a good look at that hair, do you?
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyone who can, please join us, as we'll basically be the pre-show to the midweek Who Are These Podcasts, where Carl and Doug from Who's Right will be celebrating Juneteenth. So join us for that. Other selfish programming note, on this YouTube channel is a show that when we did our show last week, I didn't even know I was doing it this quickly. I did episode 600 of my podcast, The Blackcast, right here on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. I was joined by both Dennis Miller and John Lovitz, so you can find that on the WATP YouTube channel if you want to check that out. The audio will be up in a couple of weeks, so I'll plug it then. But for those of you who maybe don't like SNL and you don't like me, there are video messages in that episode, one from Kevin Brennan and one from John Melendez. So you can watch it just for that reason if you like. So make sure to like and subscribe. Head over to whoarethese.com. Find the phone number. Leave us a voicemail. Just say it's for WATB. Join the Patreon where you're over there. You can become a member on YouTube. You'll get some great bonus content, including Stuttering John Living in the Past, Down the Drain with Julia Fox, and whatever else comes up. And of course, I forgot to put the scroll on the bottom yet again. I should start putting this at the top of my notes, Eric, because tickets are now available for DabbleCon 2. I hear the VIP tickets are already sold out. August 16th and 17th in Rochester. Go to WATPlive.com to get that. And I'm looking over the super chats for my big sign off. And I decided that I was going to combine Reverend Shitstain as a friend of the show. I was going to combine his two chats. So you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. And until next time, for our video audience, until tomorrow, but until next time, I'm Christian Blatt reminding you that every mic is a hot mic, and cruising is when you drive slowly back and forth, looking for other gay dudes driving slowly back and forth to engage in public anonymous relations. And the people in that clip were angry they can't engage in public sex in cars, or as we learned in this show, it's called a zane. And that's what they were unable to do. Anyway, we will see everybody for our next episode, and good night, everybody.